In the name of Allah, I'm Aubrey Muhammad. I pray that everyone is well. Hempstead family, friends, and believers, welcome to my live session. I have 2 updates, and the title is Getting Back in the Mix. I'm getting back to my cook. Let me start with 2 updates. The first one is Mom's court eviction date, 99 Main Street. That's the District Court in Hempstead, March 13th, 2023. That's almost 2 months from now. Please show up, support her. And if you can't come, contribute to her GoFundMe for her legal defense fund and her eviction fund. They're not playing. Look at my good sister Thurn, Shiva's on terrace. They evicting her. They're getting rid. These people are not playing. They're serious about destroying our foundation, uprooting us and displacing us. And that's manifesting right now. But in the second update was the dismal, well, a few supporters that came out to the Tuesday Village Hall meeting in regards to Carmen Place, the gentrification. It was dismal, but we should have had more. Y'all that came out, all praise is due to Allah. It was 6 o'clock. A few of us made the statements we said was had to be said, but more of us got to voice our opinion. You know what I'm saying? We must. Because they're going to go along with this project if the masses of us don't participate, okay? Next meeting in regards to any gentrification in the village of Hempstead, please come out, support us. Your support is paramount, all right? That'll help us. That was a Tuesday Village Board meeting for Carmen Place. I spoke up at the regular meeting in the hearing at 6 o'clock in regards to Carmen Place to show our displeasure. How is displacement, gentrification, it's not good for us. All right, and I just want to do something different today. Get back in the mix. You know, it's been a while since I was doing the cooking videos and stuff. You know, I published a cookbook, and I was doing recipes from the cookbook. I started with the egg coffee video a couple of years ago. Then I did 2 additional videos. I did the salmon video, the pan-seared salmon, and also I think some lip balm, natural lip balm that I make. Sometimes you see me use this lip balm. I make this right in the kitchen. I make this with natural ingredients. I boil down ingredients, put them together, and package them in little containers. That's right. We have to do that with all our products. And so I just wanted to get back in the mix, you know, and I did have, well, let me show you first, because most of these, see, you can't see the wide angle here. I had the wide angle to where, I had the wide angle the way you can see everything over there, but Facebook Live doesn't do wide, the horizontal, they just do vertical video. You know, this is a cookbook I wrote. I wrote, published, did everything of it except printed. And the cost of printing went up on everything, just as the inflation, or you know, that's the oligarchs increasing their resources, concentrating their resources in a fewer hands, and giving less for us to trickle down, especially the poor people. So that's why the cost of everything has gone up. This cookbook has gone up, but you can get this cookbook directly from me. Inbox me on social media, and I will give it to you for 25 bucks flat. That's free shipping, $25 flat shipping. If you get it directly from me, I'll sign it, put a positive message in there. Actually, this one is going to a good brother that just got one recently. And also, I have another announcement. I will be publishing number 2, Muslim Cooking with Muhammad. That's version 1 of 5. I'll be on number 2 very soon, but I need help getting it published. But I used to manufacture the seasonings. I used to make them, and it was difficult, a commercial adventure. I would buy the seasonings and the spices, and I would buy them wholesale. But if I had like whole peppercorns or whole cumin or whatever seed, herb, mainly the seeds, I would toast those herbs in a pan. I would lightly toast them to the oils, start getting nice and toasted, and the essentials oil and those spice seeds. Once they're brought out after like a couple of minutes of light toasting, I would cool that down. I would grind that down and mix those spices together. Well, I can't do that in an apartment in a house. It smells like a spice house. So I got to get that commercially done. That's if I do the seasonings. But what I want to do for version number 2, this is version 1 of 5, the Muslim Cookbook, Nutrition and Health Guide. I'm going to do Native Black American Cookbook. And it's just going to be recipes. So I'm going to, now here I did all the graphics, and it's a few graphics in here. There's only a few in here. Graphics of things, describing things. I have like olives of a few things. And this art is done by a good brother, Brother Pierre Treby. This is his artwork on the cover. A brother that lived underneath, the apartment underneath me at 600 Fulton. For years we've been over there. Did a few graphics in here, but I'm going to, but this is 300 pages. That's why this costs so much. It costs $30. And it's going to go up because the printers, they're all going up. Paper supplies, all that. The supply chain. They're robbing us all. So they taking from Peter to pay for Paul, and they passing it to us, poor folks who accept it. So this one is going to be probably an increase, unless you get it directly from me. Amazon, I won't be carrying it there way much further, so get it directly from me. But the book number 2 will be recipes, just be recipes, because this is your guide. This is a nutrition and health guide. Got tips, got rations, got the whole front part. It's all bacon substitutes, everything. That's a little graphic I did. You know, black and white graphics, but I got to take full color pictures for these recipes. And that takes a photographer, that takes supplies, cooking, and a whole bunch of, way more than an experiment. Look how long it took me to get this video ready. I was supposed to have been up at 7 o'clock. It's 10 o'clock, 3 hours later. I'm getting right to it. All right, but help support me. I'll put up either a Kickstarter or a GoFundMe. It's going to take about $30K to get Native Black American Cookbook. And that's going to be distinctive recipes from out the South. Our soul food, but it's healthy. I want to put a healthy twist on it, like I did here. This is Muslim Cooking with Muhammad. Most of this, is inspired by Nation of Islam teaching and cooking in general. But then I put a little twist on it, try to make it more nutritional. The book is getting dated. So when I come up with number 2, I'm going to go for the sure hit, good recipes. And I'll even inquire about you. If you want to contribute a recipe, let me know. You know, just submit it. Gumbo, I ain't gonna have no meat. There's no meat in here, it's just fish. That's why I'm cooking some fish now, fish and vegetables. So what I do is I have meat alternatives. You know, I have the navy bean loaf, I have the veggie patties and stuff like that. Things that are alternative to meat. People who don't want to eat meat anymore, you could do vegetable alternatives that are very tasty. You know, look at the ingredients I got there. This stuff is delicious. Vegetables and stuff. And I do fish just because I stopped eating meat in the late 80s and I stayed with fish. And then I started back eating fish to do the cookbook because I was going through recipes and stuff. But I hardly eat fish. It ain't my main focus. The main focus is the bean soup and the good things. Vegetables, all fruits. So it's going to be Native Black American cookbook. And it will just be recipes, but I'll have color pictures. It'll be step by step with color pictures. You know, and that's going to be costly. In color books, this is a color cover, but it's black and white text. So it's added cost to that. So I'm going to have to raise some funds for that, maybe $30K. That's going to be a Kickstarter or GoFundMe. I'll let you know. I used to bake the bean pie, cookies. I used to sell them in restaurants, other mosques and church and different things. The bean pie and the cookies, and they were doing so well that I broke the person's apartment I was staying in. So I had to stop because that was too much. The clothes smelling like a bakery, and you know, but spices, forget it. That's a whole different ball game. You don't want no a spice house as your house. That has to be done commercially. And I do those handcraft, and I do them specialized, where they get the most flavor out of them. The shelf life is shorter because I toast them. But they're all natural and that's fresh. And you have to keep them in the fridge, really. Some people will leave them out, you know, and they do have an expiration date. But I want to do those. I'm going to focus on doing number 2 without the seasonings. But what I will do is have an option. So that way, if I do the seasonings, you have them, you know, because if someone emailed me and said, brother, you know, you stopped making the seasonings, I have a list of alternatives that people could use, basically, you know. So That's good news. That's the exciting news. That's coming up very soon. So let me get in here. I'm gonna just to cook something up, man, with y'all. I'm just gonna make some soup, some vegetables. I said, no, let me make something simple, some fish, and I got some, and I do have it here. I had this set up on the widescreen where you could see all of this. This pot is a little distance. You can still see in there. This is actually a pressure cooker pan. It's nice and thick though, so it holds the heat. And if it gets too smoky in here, I'm gonna turn on this fan. See, it's hard to see this. This is not an exhaust fan. That's a grease catcher fan under the microwave. You hear it is loud. If it gets too smoky, this is why I'm not using coconut oil for this recipe. I'm using avocado oil because it has that low burn. It has low smoke. This is going to be Chilean sea bass. This is a steak. This is a medium steak of Chilean sea bass. It's not the thickest Chilean sea bass can be. And I marinated that. That's why it's sitting there overnight with some Italian marinade I make and dressing, the olive oil, red cider vinegar, and seasonings and herbs. Not a lot of seasoning like salt, pepper, fresh herbs that marinate. And that marinade, that was overnight in the fridge. So that's marinated. You don't have to marinate Chilean sea bass. It's a white fish. It's thick, a little oily. It actually comes from the sea of Antarctica. And trolleys. I left the skin on there because this is a side steak. Most of those thick Chilean sea bass steaks you get, them things are very thick. My goodness. Yeah, they can be double this size. This is about like an inch and some change, about 1.5 inches at the thickest, and about 3/4 to 1 inch going down. But the skin will be, this is where the fish was going this way. The head's here, the tail's here, and they slice the steaks like a red snapper steak or a salmon steak. But this is half without the bone, And the whole one would have been awesome, but I didn't want to cook up that much smoke like that, So I just want to do a little simple one serving, and you can adjust the recipe according to your servings. But this is one serving, just to be simple. I've only got 2 pans here, But this should be cooked anywhere from like 4 to 5 minutes on each side, depending on how I look at it. And then I'm going to flip it over, and I'm just using avocado oil. I'm not going to use butter in here. That butter browns too hard on this Chilean sea bass. But if you get the thick steaks, what you'll see the thick fillets, and it'll be the skin on one side. What you have to do is you pan sear that for like 2 minutes on each side. Then you got to put it in a 450-degree preheated oven to finish cooking on internally anywhere from like 8 to 10 minutes, depending on how thick it is, at 450 degrees, 8 to 10 minutes. I'm going to coat it with a light coat of avocado oil. Then I'm going to put salt and pepper. And that's it for Chilean sea bass. And it's going in this cast iron pan. And it's not a sauce. It's like sort of like a companion little dressing, of pineapples, chopped fresh pineapples, pat them dry, drain the juice, and this is the pineapple juice that I drained from it. So I really don't need lemon juice in this for the sea bass. And red onions, that's some chopped red onions, and you can do like half a cup each for one serving to go with it, because the asparagus is going to go with it. Now in that pineapple, red onion is going to be jalapeno. Finely chopped jalapenos is going to go in that with just like a twig of dill, just to flavor it. And then I have the asparagus spears. Now these are the cut, these asparagus spears. And this is the vegetable that's going to go with it. This is only a few. That's all I want to eat is a few. I'm just going to plate one thing. This is not a major plate. But normally you would do like half a pound of asparagus, And it's chopped into a half. I normally chop asparagus in the thirds, but for this video I did it in a half. People do the long asparagus spears. They don't cook evenly. I don't like chopping them up in a plate like that. So I chop mine's nice. And this is the cooking oils I'm using, the avocado, some butter. The butter is going to cook the pineapple, the red onion, and jalapeno. And I'm going to get the Chilean sea bass started and on a little honey. And then when it finishes, I'm going to drizzle just a little honey over the pineapple, onion, jalapeno. Just a little light drizzle when everything is covered, when it's plated, and everything finished. All right, So let me get a little started here. I hope your Monday was well. I hope your weekend was good. But next time, when I start doing these videos, well, I'm going to do them pre-recorded, so I have them on the widescreen. You get to see everything at one time. But this is just cooking some Chilean sea bass. And I'm going to put this on medium, you know? I didn't want to put this on high. Medium high. And I'm going to even start the other pan on there for the onions and the pineapples on medium. Now, first of all, I'm going to take the avocado oil. I'm going to lightly coat the Chilean sea bass in avocado oil. Okay? Both sides. So it won't stick. Because salmon skin is like glue. And then I'm going to put, you know, some Himalayan pink salt on it, coat it with like Himalayan pink salt. And I'm generous with salt. I like salt, you know, the Himalayan pink salt. It's not as bad as that old school salt. And plenty of black pepper. You know, fresh, cracked black pepper always does good on fish fillets. So this is heating up nice. Yeah, that's real hot. Yeah, oh yeah, that's smoking already and everything. So I'm gonna take the avocado oil, just take a little oil in the pan. And this is gonna get this Chilean sea bass right here. There we go. It's gonna be 4 to 5 minutes. In the last 4 to 5 minutes, I'm gonna put the asparagus in with the Chilean sea bass. And I'm gonna cook it in with the Chilean sea bass, and I'm gonna do the condiment later. That's smoking a lot. And I use, most of the time I use a splash guard when I'm doing this too, the screens, but I want you to see it. I can wipe this up after I'm finished, as long as it don't set off no smoke alarms. If it does, then I absolutely will. Oh yeah, that's cooking real good. And I can start the pineapple, red onion, and the jalapeno. Dabs of butter. That's good. That's took off. Yeah. Oh yeah. That's real fast. Do the onions. This is gonna be fast. It's red onions. Got to put some salt and pepper in there too. 10, 14. Pepper. I may have to drain these pineapples and red onions. I may have to drain them on a paper towel because I don't want them too oily. It's a nice salt. That's right. And flavor this how you want it. I'm going to turn that Chilean sea bass at about like 10, 19. It's cooking good. It's nice and even. I left it alone. I have the fish spatula. You could use this spatula too. All right? Fits in the pan is good. I may not even need the fish. Or maybe I could use this one. A little more flexible. Okay? And these onions is real fast, okay? Oh yeah. Oh yeah. And the pineapples is going to be fast. And that's all the onions are needed. And jalapenos. You know? Y'all can see this all right. Getting down. You know, this is a healthy alternative. This, you know, seafood is better than that meat. Oh yeah, this is just going, this doesn't have to cook at all. This is just going, matter of fact, I'm going to throw a piece of dill in there just for flavor. And this literally can come off. This, yeah, that cooked, that toasted up that fast. Those onions got nice and translucent brown that fast. You know, that's good. And the Chilean sea bass looks like it's doing fine. You know, oh yeah, oh yeah. Take a little peek at that. This is going to take off when I, oh yeah, that's ready to turn already. Yes, it is. It's an oily fish. Yeah, oh yeah, oh my goodness, that grilled up nice. That grilled up very nice. Oh yeah. And I can turn that to like a little low because that's taking off. That's cooking nice. And this is the pineapple juice for, if you needed to marinate this a little in there, if I pour this pineapple juice in there, this thing will steam up to hell. As if it's fishy smell, or if it's not, if it looked like it was going dry. It's not. It's very toasty. I marinate it. That's why I marinate, to keep it nice so you don't have to. Let me put this to the back. Yeah, that, the pineapples and that red onion and jalapeno look delicious. The jalapeno just takes it out nice. The jalapeno. And you don't need too many herbs in this. All right, that was about 10:22. This Chilean sea bass should be finished. And if you're unsure, if you have a thick piece of steak like this is a steak, it's not very thick. But if you have the fillet that's thicker than this, you can test it with a thermometer on the inside and see when it's done. This one I'm pretty sure is going to be done in 10:20. Yeah, I can see it. Oh yeah, and I leave the skin on because I don't eat the skin. The skin from that Chilean sea bass and red snap, all them other fish, when they pull them big trolleys and stuff, the asparagus. Oh man, I forgot the asparagus. Let me throw those in there. See, talking, running my mouth. Well, these only gonna take a second. Oh yeah, these can cook in there nice. Asparagus only take 3 minutes anyway. These were small, thin ones. They're gonna cook just fine. They're gonna cook just fine. Yeah, the scales get a lot of bacteria and blood from the dead fish on the deck of them fish. They slap the new fish down from the net. They flapping around. And what gets stuck in that skin? The scales, the blood, bacteria, death, the other dead. And what's the first fish that die? The disease in the weak ones. So that death is being collected in the skin, the scales of the fish. So I leave it on there, and then when I eat it, I just leave the skin. I never eat it. This is going to be done in 1 minute. I can see that, yes. Yeah, that's nice. Don't move stuff around too much. Oh yeah, that's nice. Oh yeah. The healthiest way to eat anything is baking. You know, baking it and steaming. Baking and steaming is the healthiest, but this is just a quick pan fry. And asparagus is almost done. I knew they were going to get done quick. Make sure they're nice and crispy. The asparagus I have to drain on the paper towel, y'all. Asparagus look oily, you know. Oh yeah, I knew it. That's it. Yeah, all right. Take this Chilean sea bass out. Just come off. Yeah, nice fish. Yes. Plate right there. Nice. Gotta get the asparagus to drain. Okay, yeah. Let's see the tips first. And I'm gonna be doing plenty of videos like this, you know. The bean soup, the other vegetables. I'm gonna plate it right there. And that's right. Gonna take our, so I didn't even need the pineapple, juice. Put that there, red onions, pineapples. I'm gonna use the rest of this for a salmon. I had a red salmon fillet that I was gonna make, but it looked like a sandwich. It wasn't, you know, nice fish like this. Nice asparagus here, tips. There we go. That is delicious, y'all. Real live time. Everything's seasoned nice. And you don't even need a lemon. You can pour, oh yeah, I almost forgot the little honey. The little honey gotta go over the onions and the pineapple. Just a little drizzle. There we go. There we go. Yes, y'all. There we go. There it is, y'all. We with some Chilean sea bass. And that sauce, there's red onion, pineapple, and jalapeno, and I just put the little honey over it. A drizzle of honey and a little dill that I cooked it with, salt and pepper, right, and butter. And the Chilean sea bass I marinated. You don't have to marinate it though, because Chilean sea bass is a clean fish. It's not a fishy smell fish. And I cooked it in the avocado oil, not to kick up all that smoke. And even with that heat, and you see how nice and brown and toasty it got. I'm gonna tear this up in a minute, y'all. And the asparagus tips. That was simple, couple of minutes. And the lemon wedge, that's the decoration. The dill, there's a little flavor because the pineapple is all that flavor. And I'm gonna dig into this, y'all, as I conclude. I hope you don't hear me smacking my teeth. Oh yeah. This is the good part here. I don't eat that fish, man. The skin. That's some good fish. Oh yeah. Thank you for joining me, and I'm gonna do more of these. And if you got the cookbook, let me do down, start talking. No, I gotta try one of these asparagus tips. Yeah, yeah, nice and crispy. Don't overcook vegetables. Get them nice and crispy. You can sear them, but keep them crispy. So those live enzymes help you digest it. And if you got the cookbook, let me know what recipe you like, what your favorite recipe is. And for the Native Black American Cookbook, all our people in the South and who was cooking soul food, a lot of that stuff comes from the plantations. That stuff literally slave food. From the pork barrel, hog maws, chitlins, pork chops, and pig ears, pig feet, pig tail. We would eat everything. We were forced to. We would season it to death, and we would season it wonderfully and make even a pig taste good. It wasn't hard for me to stop eating pig back in the 80s, but it was, our moms used to hook up them pork chops and everything. Let me read this comment. Carl said, brother, that's Carl Sanders, brother Aubrey Muhammad, you do it all. That food probably would taste better if I was over there eating it. Yes, sir, my brother. And I'm hooking you up with the cookbook. It's right in the cookbook, Muslim Cooking with Muhammad. Oh, let me get the cookbook again. Muslim Cooking with Muhammad, the part 2 is a Native Black American cookbook. I want recipes specifically from us from the South. This is not from the South. This is well, it's fish and fish, catfish, and that's us. But this could be an alternative. I want to do a recipe like this. I want to do a salmon salad. I have quite a few recipes. I don't need a whole bunch, but more importantly, your recipes that I want to incorporate into more healthy. Because you know we even got different soul food. Don't you know that Florida, black people have different soul food than South Carolina? South Carolina got that gumbo type stuff and different, all type of meals. I'm from North Carolina and plantations down there. I grew up on that, chicken and pork chops and yams. The yam is African. I saw a sister on social media that she was arguing about some brother was complaining about how she made the yam. She was from Africa, and he was rejecting her on a date. It was trifling. It was kind of cheap, childish. They were both being childish. And the girl and the brother went over there. All he had to do was tell her, man, in a nice way, I don't want to be with you. You got to find a better way to do that. You insult, you crush her. We love humiliating people. So you don't put water in sweet potatoes. Well, and people were saying, and she said, I'm not a slave. I don't eat sweet potatoes. The sweet potato comes from the yam. The yam is African. And sweet potato is a hybrid of that. Hybrid. So all that stuff is ours. And we used to cook in one pot. The black kettle, that's African. We call it West Asia. Cooking in one kettle pot. We've been doing that, please. We mastered that for a long time. And that's why it's in the South. That's all we had on the plantation. We didn't have a full kitchen set, unless we worked in the kitchen, which we did when we worked in the slave master kitchen. Remember Django and Chain working in the kitchen? That was us, all up in the kitchen. You didn't see no white people in there. So if you from Texas black people got a unique soul food. That's different. Florida got a different one. Texas, Los Angeles. Black people who went to California, they have a different soul food. We have a different food. And then there's that Mississippi, Alabama, and Georgia soul food. That's a unique. Now that's general soul food, cornbread and stuff like that. That absolutely is soul food. That's the core soul food. But others of us have nuances, and we do have differences. So if you have a recipe that is all hogged up, even from Louisiana, how they mix with the Creole and stuff like that, and you made it different, but that's a soul food. That's black people's soul food. If you have a gumbo, well, I have to come up with a veggie version of that gumbo. And if you have a nice fish dish like that catfish, even hush puppies and different things like all the stuff we do, cornbread. We eat cornbread, Muslims eat cornbread, but we got to toast it real good. We got to toast it even with onions. And we even ferment it sometimes. We ferment our bread to make the real sourdough. Toasty and fermented. It's the best bread for you. I got to bake some of that. A whole bunch of stuff we can do. But if you have recipes, and I will publish them in the cookbook, and I'll work towards making them healthy. As long as I don't care what, if they're from the South, please let it be from the South, and even from LA, whatever section of the country you're from, and you want a native Black American dish, cuisine, let me know, and I'll do it, but I'll just put a twist on it. Like I did most of this stuff, I put a twist on stuff. Made it more healthy, you know what I'm saying? Let me wrap this up, because I'm about to tear that up. And that, that's the updates, and look forward to the version 2 cookbook. That's going to be Native Black American cooking, and you can still get this cookbook from me. Inbox me for this one. No, I don't think this recipe is in here. I just did this. I had the salmon. The salmon recipe is in here. And I'll be doing some of the recipes, but I want to do the new ones for the Native Black American cookbook. That's the recipes I want to do. I'm going to cook and then incorporate them from those recipes. That's the ones I want to do. But if you got a recipe in my cookbook, let me know. We'll hook it up. Or if you want to do it on the video, let me know. That's always beautiful, how we interact with each other like that, Because family, I love you. And I pray that you are well, and keep my moms in your prayers. And if you need help, we're praying for you. And we support you, more importantly. We got to support each other, man. We got to get rid of selfishness, individualism. You know what I'm saying? Let me read the comments before I go. And go and tear up this fish. Okay, Brother Dwayne. Oh, that's my cookbook. That's right, Brother Dwayne. That's on Amazon. Yeah, but the Amazon, I may not continue on Amazon. Because Amazon keep the same rates, and the price of publishing is going up. With oligarch inflation, oligarch stimulated, oligarch engineered inflation, All right, and especially my brother Carl. And Brother Dwayne, thank you for sharing that link, brother. Yeah. But if you want copies from me, please inbox me, and I will send you a sign, because the ones on Amazon ain't gonna sign. And I'm also doing these NFTs, all my works. I'm gonna do all NFT, to put a digital value to it. So these are gonna be NFT, not the ones on Amazon. So if you get them from me, signed, I will have the little NFT code, the way in the future it comes through, you'll have something of value. Yes, you will. Because we are priceless people. We're the cream of the earth. The best. The fruit is the best. Best part. And we're striving. All right, family, thank you for joining me on this Back in the Mix of cooking. And I hope your evening is graced and blessed. And I pray that Allah continue to protect us and guide us in all that we do. Look out for our people. Look out for our elders. All right, family. I leave you as I greeted you in the ancient Arabic words of peace. Assalamu alaikum. Peace unto you. Enjoy the rest of the evening, family. And I'm about to tear up this, all right? Peace and grace.